The United Community Family Services Chaldean American Ladies of Charity provides compassionate, culturally responsive services to individuals and families in need, including food assistance, senior support, refugee resettlement, behavioral health services, and family stabilization programs. UCFS CALC is committed to empowering clients with dignity, respect, and pathways to long-term independence. They're celebrating 65 years of service to the community this year at their annual gala on September 10th at Shenandoah Country Club. Tickets are still available. They're also in the middle of the Rocket Challenge, a nationwide month-long fundraising competition designed to help nonprofits raise as much money as possible for their cause. To talk with us about both those things and the history of this nonprofit is our next guest, Chief Operating Officer Arjan Kallou, joining us here on Epiphany today. Arjan, how are you?
I'm great, Vanessa. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being with us here today. And so happy to talk to you about this wonderful organization that I am so proud to have grown up being part of, watching my mom being part of the Ladies of Charity and these wonderful women I've worked with, two of which are being honored this year. So UCFS CALC is celebrating 65 years of service this year, Arjan. When you look back at the organization's beginning in 1961, what stands out most to you about the vision of those founding women?
I would say the biggest thing that stands out to me is that these women saw a need in their community and they didn't wait for someone else to solve it. In 1961, a group of Chaldean women came together because they wanted to help families who were struggling. And they built something that lasted for 65 years. And that's really remarkable because, you know, they couldn't have probably imagined UCFS CALC being what it is today. We started with women helping their neighbors, and now it's grown into an organization serving thousands of individuals and families through the Southeast Michigan. I would say, but at its core, it's still about seeing a need and opening our doors and saying, how can we help? And I think that the greatest lesson from the founding women is that you don't have to start with a huge organization or a huge budget. You have to start with compassion. You start with your community. And then from there, it's a willingness to serve, and you just continue to grow to what we have been today.
What a great point, Arjan. They didn't wait. You know, they just did it because they saw the need, and the compassion still exists there. The need has grown, and the dedication is there with the team at UCFS CALC today. I see it firsthand, Arjan, you at being one of the leadership roles as well. And this year's gala is honoring two extraordinary women who I've had the pleasure and honor volunteering with over the years, Julie Haycom and Norma Delali Haycom, sister-in-laws. What made their contribution so foundational to CALC's identity? What could you share with our listeners?
Yes, absolutely. Julie and Norma represent so much of what CALC has stood for. Community, advocacy, leadership, and compassion. It's what makes their contribution so special. They didn't just simply support the organization from the sidelines. They helped shape the culture and the service that's become part of CALC's identity. When you look at the organization that has survived and grown for 65 years, you realize that it isn't just the programs that make it successful. It's the people who have dedicated themselves, like Julie and Norma, to serve the mission and inspire the next generation, like yourself and me, to continue. Yeah. So I think, Julie and Norma are just kind of looking at us saying, you guys did it. Their legacy is reminding us that service isn't always about having a title or being recognized. You know, it's about showing up and helping family, making phone calls, opening doors, simply just saying, what do you need? That spirit is very much alive with UCFS CALC today.
You know, and for years, Arjan, you make a really good point too. For years, the nonprofit was purely 100% volunteer. Julie and Norma never got paid, but it's grown so much that it's an official 501c3. It has been for a long time, and they're staffed today. But there are still so many volunteers like Julie and Norma, and they inspired volunteers to get involved with the organization. And I think that speaks volumes to their dedication.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I, like I said, I've had the honor and pleasure of having worked with both of them. And what I love your point, they brought in the next generation. I remember getting a call from Julie Haycom and Rosemary Antone and Mike George in my 20s telling me I was going to work on this event that they were hosting to honor the men and women in the Chaldean community who served the armed forces. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I was voluntold, and they're like, you're going to help us. You're going to help us. And they had an amazing ability to recruit other volunteers and other people who became just as passionate as they were support to help the community. So I'm really excited that we're honoring both these women who were one of the both original founders with Bishop George Garmo. The original, core of 20 women, Julie and Norma, were right there at the table in the basement of the church. CALC's roots, as you were talking about, Arjan, are so deeply connected to the church, beginning with Bishop George Garmo's guidance. How has faith shaped the organization's culture and service over the decades?
Yeah, absolutely. Faith has always been a very important part of CALC Foundation. Bishop George Garmo, he recognized that the church could be a tremendous force for helping people beyond the walls of the church. And that's kind of where we came in. And that philosophy helped establish CALC. But I think what is important today is that faith translates into action. And, I'm not just saying about we want to help our neighbors, it's actually doing it. And that's a lot of what our volunteers do. They come in and they help. So whether we're helping someone with food, immigration services, clothing, housing needs, employment, or just connecting them with resources, we're really meeting people where they are, and we're treating them with the dignity and giving them the hope that they desire. And while our organization has evolved in the last 65 years, I think that the foundational belief is that when someone in our community is struggling, we have a responsibility to help. And that's really the intersection of faith and service for us.
And so the organization has also been very successful in collaborating with other organizations. And this year being one of them with the Rocket Challenge, which has been going on since August 3rd and ending August 28th. Tell us about that, that particular challenge, and how individuals and families and parish communities get involved and support UCFS CALC during this competition.
Absolutely. So the Rocket Community Challenge is a really exciting opportunity for us because everybody can participate. You do not have to be a major donor to make a difference. Making a small donation or starting your own campaign or just simply sharing our page for the Rocket Community Mortgage, it helps us tremendously. I especially want to encourage families and parish communities to get involved together. Make this something that your children can be a part of. I know that a lot of people want their children to participate actively in volunteering in organizations. Challenge your friends. Ask those groups around you if they can support the Rocket Community Challenge. If we win the grand prize, that brings in an additional $22,000 to the organization, in addition to the donations that actually come into the Rocket Community Challenge. So every dollar counts. There are weekly promotional items that we can do by getting donations and getting additional bonus dollars that go to securing the services that we offer here. To hear more about that, you can sign up for our newsletter through our website, www.ucfamilyservices.org, or visiting us on Instagram at CALC1961.
You serve thousands of individuals each year. What are some of the most pressing needs you're seeing among families in Southeast Michigan today, Arjan?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things is that you're seeing a lot of families being squeezed from every direction. Food is so expensive. Housing is more expensive than it ever was. Utilities are more expensive. Transportation. And for families who are already living paycheck to paycheck, one unexpected expense can completely change their situation. We see families who are working but still struggling to make ends meet. We see seniors who need food and basic necessities, and that's why our organization is so important. Sometimes people don't just need one service. They need someone to help them navigate the several challenges that they're facing all at once. Our role here at CALC is to meet people where they are and connect them with the resources, education, and support so that we can help them move forward. And ultimately, we don't want people to need us forever. We want to help them grow into a place where they can thrive independently.
That's wonderful. Arjan Kallou is here with us today, the Chief Operating Officer of the United Community Family Services Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, celebrating 65 years of service to the community right here in Southeast Michigan. And you can help support the work that they have been doing, continue to do by going to their website. Give out that again, Arjan, the website to get tickets to the gala, to sponsor the gala, to support the competition with Rocket Challenge. Give out that information again.
Yeah, so you can check us out at ucfamilyservices.org or follow us on Instagram at CALC1961. You can sign up for our newsletters or just kind of keep up to date on what's going on. Volunteer opportunities are always listed there. Right now, we really need support with our Rocket Community Challenge, and we would love to see all of your faces at the gala. If you'd like to purchase tickets, more information for that is, again, on our website at ucfamilyservices.org.
What legacy do you believe Julie and Norma would want the organization to carry forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think Julie and Norma would want everyone to know that CALC exists in the first place to serve people. Organizations can change, programs can change, technology can change, communities change, but the need for compassion and community does not change. I think that Julie and Norma would want us to continue being an organization that sees a need and continue to respond to it. I also think that they would want us to keep looking forward. We're celebrating 65 years, but we're not just looking backwards. We're asking, what will the next 65 years look like? The community we serve today is so much broader than what we served in 1961, and our responsibility is to make sure that CALC continues to evolve within that community while preserving the spirit of the women who started it, like Julie and Norma. And if we continue the tradition of faith, compassion, dignity, and service, then I think we're honoring their legacy in the best possible way.
You have such passion, too. You could hear it in your voice, Arjan, for the work that you're doing. What does it mean to you, and why are you so passionate about the work that you do? Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, for me in particular, there's nothing that brings more joy to my heart than being able to help someone. You know, oftentimes we're helping people, and I might not be at the front lines, the case managers are, and we couldn't do it without them. But, you know, we're helping them, and then there's so much gratitude coming from these people. And then later you hear the stories of domestic violence, the homelessness, the falling on hard times, you know, the migrating from another country to here. And it kind of just, you know, it's so fulfilling to be able to help somebody, especially for myself when I might not know the entire picture. But our case managers are amazing. We couldn't do it without them and the help of our volunteers. You know, just being able to serve the community brings so much joy to me.
Arjan, what else do you want to share with our listeners here on Epiphany before we let you go? Any last message you want to share with us today?
Yes, I mean, all of your listeners are a great part of our community. I just want everyone out there that's listening today to know that we would not be able to carry on the last 65 years without support of individuals like you today that are listening, without you coming in and giving every minute that you have and giving all your muscle strength to maybe helping us in the food pantry, and even the contributions that you make, whether it's $1 or $5,000 to the Rocket Community Challenge or our organization, directly goes back to support the individuals that are in need. And if anybody would like to reach out to me to ask any additional questions, please feel free. Always open to having a great conversation. 248-528-0130, and you can ask for Arjan, and we can discuss other things. If, you know, our network wants to collaborate and work with our organization, that's what the founding females did, and I'm here to continue that on.
Arjan, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us here on Epiphany and sharing this wonderful story of this amazing organization that's been around for 65 years in service to the community. God bless you and all that you do.
Thank you, Vanessa. God bless you, and thank you for having me on.
Of course, Arjan Kallou with us, Chief Operating Officer of the United Community Family Services, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity. They are celebrating 65 years of service to the community, 65 years of service to the community. It all started in the basement of Mother of God Church with Bishop George Garmo by their side, 20 women getting together. They were helping immigrants assimilate into the United States. They've been going strong, growing since. Back then, it was all volunteer based. Now they established as an official 501c3 with the guidance of Bishop George Garmo at the time, and they have continued this organization, this legacy, and they're honoring two of the founding members of the organization, sister-in-laws Julie and Norma Hakem, at their gala coming up September 10th at Shenandoah Country Club. You're all invited. It's a great opportunity to, meet members of this wonderful community, members of the Chaldean community. They have expanded beyond the Chaldean community, but there's a large Chaldean presence to get to know this community. If you're looking for an organization to collaborate with, if your organization is looking for another organization to collaborate with, a nonprofit to support, this is a nonprofit for you. You can go to ucfamilyservices.org and reach out to them. They're always looking for volunteers and support. The gala is going to be absolutely beautiful at Shenandoah Country Club. It's a great night out, great great dinner, great entertainment. It'll be a lot of fun, great networking, and you'll hear some two stories about two remarkable women who contributed so much of their lives to serving others in the community. We got to take a break. When we come back, Monica Miller will be joining us. Dr. Monica Miller will be joining us here after the break. Don't go away.